Here you go. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Non-Classic. This is episode number 3399 and Doubleshot number 3293. I got two Marvel trades. First of which is the Immortal Thor, Volume 4, Son of Thor. You're thinking, excuse me, Nick, does 616 Thor have a son? He does. I'll get to that. Written by Al Ewing, the cover art done by the awesome Alex Ross. The interior artwork for most of the issues you would find with this book, collect issue 16 and 20 of Immortal Thor. With the exception issue 19. 19 is done by multiple artists. Oh my gosh, a lot. So, for issue 16, 18, and 20, it's done by Jen Bagalia, which he also works on issue 19. He does it with Dan Jurgens, Brett Beating, Luciano Ferrito, Karen S. Darnberg, Jorge Fernos, Juan Ferreira, Valerio Ricci, Rod Reese. Met this guy, cool guy in person. He's actually Brazilian, by the way. Yes. Juan Cabal, Glenn Melkoff, Steve Suckrich, Leonard Kirk, Kafu, Phil Noto. I never met Phil Noto, but I do love this guy's artwork. Martin Killigo, Lee Gerbert, Herberto Ramos, Dave Bone, and Glavin Galberti. So we start off with a flashback to Festivus showing out the Jim Hammond Human Torch to the public. And then we jump to present day where the radioactive man, yes, the radioactive man, is being picked up at the airport. And apparently, despite the glow thing, it's perfectly fine with him. Unlike when Norman Osborn had wear a radiation suit for some weird reason. So, according to the glow stops, that means the person's dead. Yeah, they explain that here. So, then we see Thor with Sif. I'll talk about the Rainbow Bridge. And then Thor goes down to Earth. And then he's immediately told to be arrested. Yes, believe it or not, you have cops pulling guns at him. And you might be thinking, what the heck? Why are they pulling guns at him for? He just arrived. And then the radioactive man shows up. Well, it's because of this anti-vigilante law. So, it later got repealed after this. So then Thor fights radioactive man, fights into a truck, and then all of a sudden, all Thor villains, Cobra and Mr. Hyde show up. They call him the Cobra, not King Cobra, surprisingly, because King Cobra was at one point in charge of the Serpent Society. Which I think this was the first of these two have actually been a Thor comic since the 60s. Oh yeah, they reconciled because they were, and there's mention about, and then all of a sudden, the Great Gargoyle shows up, another old villain of his, like, okay, that's cool. And supposedly that kills him, but don't worry, he does not. And like Thor shove off to space, but then he meets up with Donald Blake. I'm like, wow, you're basically so many callbacks here. And then they call back to the creature holding Donald Blake's head. This creature's actually dead, by the way. And those of you curious, like, that's the creature right there. Like, who created that character? Matt Fraction. Yep, he created them for, I think it was his, like, second to last arc he did for, the original Mighty Thor book. And of course, now he's currently the guy of lies, and he's, well, become like a monster, and he's sort of surrounded. But look, if he's basically, of course, these four people, like, oh, he's dead. Then he reforms. And he's got his axe. And proceeds to beat up his old foes. And then the beautiful Enchantress shows up. And then they go to Bifrost. And then the four come in, and we see that the Minotaur's alive, Dagra. And thinking, wait a minute, didn't he die? Yes, he did. And now he's back, complete randomness. Yeah, it's not really explained how the heck he survived being killed by Scourge the Executioner. Also, why is he back in his human form, which is interesting, because it was explained in Immortal Thor that he decided to... No, it was Immortal Hulk, I think it was, where he liked being in his Minotaur form, and then later on he got deformed by, I think it was the leader, I guess Al Ewing didn't like the look for take Agar and change him back. By the way, those of you curious, did Al Ewing create this guy? No, this is a creation of Jason Aaron. By far one of the coolest characters he created. Now, Gore may not be popular with some people, but I didn't really complain about the Minotaur. And then, of course, they have Thor, Sif, and Enchantress, along with this wizard person. And they have this campfire, and of course you have Enchantress has some blood, Thor does some lightning, and they bring something there. What is brought there, you might ask? Thor says, "Oh, 'tis I. Hello, Megan." Agony. Thor's son. Yes, this is Thor's son. Which this is really cool because, okay, so those of you curious about this guy, he's a Dan Jurgens character. You're like, what? Yeah, by the way, first time he's appeared since 2004. That's a lot. Like, it had been, like, at the time this came out, it had been like 20 years since his last appearance. It's a good thing too because Dan Jurgens did like issue 19. So he's back, and of course we got Thor's hammer. And he gets along fine with his mom. Oh yeah, in case you're curious though, the Enchantress is his mom. Yes. Not only is he the son of Thor, he's also the son of the Enchantress. Of course, he's from the future when Thor decided to eradicate humanity for some weird reason. But yeah, he's Thor's son. So, then we have the four Thor foes gather up with Sif and Enchantress. Then they fight them and beat them. Oh yeah, and also Grey Gargoyle gets beaten by the Enchantress. And of course High goes big. It's a massive brawl, and of course they're all arrested. And I think it's like Cobra says something funny, High. A sight for your face. It's so rare to see you in cowboy form these days. The more samurai I take, the fast takes burn. I remember that in the future, so but it's a joke on me. And then they go to a place known as Deniz LIC, Private Processing Solutions, a subsidiary of Roxanne Corporation. You think, wait, Roxanne's a prison? Of course they do. They're a freaking company. Yes. I'm guessing the reason Al Ewing reintroduced him to the Thor book because they've been absent since Jason Aaron wrote the book. So he figured, why not? And of course we have, this is the issue where I think it's issue 19, I think it is. Yeah, 19. This is the issue with multiple different artists. For those who are curious though, like, why in the world does this issue have multiple artists? Like, is this a big issue number for Thor? Well, let's find out. So, Immortal Thor issue 19 is, in fact, issue 780. You thinking? That's weird. Why in the world would they basically do this? Why would this issue be double size if it's issue just 780? I guess they figured, oh, why not? Let's have multiple artists and lots of interactions. We also see Beta Ray Bill return to the book, and he sees it, and basically then we have, I think it's Sif's brother Herman in the City of Dead. And then we see Scourge, It's like basically just revisiting. Of course, we briefly see Enchantress pose as Jane Foster, and then we briefly see Loki in his feminine form with horns for some reason. Yeah, apparently it's all about Tales of Asgard. And the thing is, the issue ends with appearance by Tornos. You're thinking, who the heck is this guy? Well, he is the Asgard Thor. Yep. And he is somebody who Al Ewing created for him. He showed the first up at the start of the series. And he gets killed off the very next issue. Yep. The very next issue. Yeah. And basically, it's like the beginning of Thor's final adventure. And there's a reason for that. I'll get to that in time. Also, he's basically... I love this cover here with Thor standing on top of a giant wheel. So then we see Thor interacting with... I think this is his mom? Yeah. Well, actually, it's his stepmom, Freya. Yeah. That's who he's interacting with here. I say a stepmom because some writers think that she's actually Thor's biological mother, despite the fact she's not. Thor's biological mother is Gaia, which the way that Al Ewing wrote her, it's like she just completely forgot the fact that Thor is her son. Yeah. She completely forgot the fact that he actually is yeah, that's basically his mom. Now, his mom is Mother Nature. Yeah. So, and then we have Thor interacting with a flashback where he takes on Thanos. And then Thor is needed because the Asgard Thor shows up with his giant wheel. He apparently pins this thing. And he got pinned here by the Ood gods. These beings are huge. These things are the size of planets. That's how big these things are. And then we have the Black Bridge, and then it's like, and then Sif basically gives Thor a kiss. It's like, Sif, you talk so much and you never listen. I had to get you to shut up. You're a good friend to me, Sif, and I will see you again. Make it a goodbye. Yeah. Now, those of you curious, though, was that the first time these two have made out? Probably in a long time. They probably have not made out since the 70s. And then the Executioner basically stands into the dark. The end of the issue, and behind him is Thanos. You're like, really? Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, but really cool ending for this book. I love it. Get the book roughly I give it a 9 out of 10. The book was really good. Next up we have is The Ultimates. All power to the people. This book is written by Deniz, who is the most recent writer for the Absolute Martian Manager book. So, This book collected issue 712 of the Ultimates, and Ultimate Universe 1 year in. This is actually written by Deniz Camp, art by Giannis Serif. This one-shot is actually a prologue, a backdoor pilot into the Ultimate Wolverine series, which, of course, the artist got accused of copying Rob Liefeld, but no, it's just similar, but not carbon copy. By the way, 1 year in features this universe debut of Nick Fury. Love this cover here by the artist. So, basically, Nick Fury has been like, because they didn't mention something related to, because it's something I don't like. So they have this guy doing a barbecue in his family, gets killed by the organization known as The Hand. Yeah, The Hand is basically now S.H.I.E.L.D. That's pretty much their job, and Nick Fury is the director. So we see him where he's got people arrested or killed. We see Howard the Duck be arrested, Omega the Unknown in a jail cell. And like, time to protect the world. And we see Captain Britain, and we see the World Council. And we see a flashback to Nick Fury where he looked like he was a soldier, looked like World War II. We even have a classic nod here to Jim Steranko issue of Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. where he kisses Contessa, and then cut to his gun. That is a nod to that issue, because the thing is, it's like, also for some weird reason in the 60s, I don't know why this was. They explain this in a documentary where anytime a woman ever show a little bit of cleavage, like, artists would draw a line that show the fact this woman's got boobs, and someone would go and erase it because no, can't have that in the book. Yes, they were that penny. And then you have where he meets a maker, he kills somebody, and he comes to lead the Hand, which apparently is almost like Hydra. So, and this up with the Ultimates in here, and then we see one by one he takes care of some people who are in the regular universe. And then he goes after 3D Man, the Alien Vision, and Devil Dinosaur. In another panel, he goes to space to kill Mantis. Yes. And then he proceeds to strangle Dum Dum Dugan. He kills Black Bolt the Child and kills Lockjaw. He kills Power Pack. He puts, I'm not sure who is in the hospital, and then he's like, you're going to kill the council? Then apparently, nope, and then they kill him. Yep, they kill Nick Fury. And then we see, look like Sam, basically we see Falcon's harness. And then it's revealed, that was the actual Nick Fury, and then we have a replacement, a bunch of LMDs. Because of course we do. And you're probably thinking, what the heck does that have to do with the main book? Not much. Nick Fury's kind of there, except it's an LMD. So basically, the people don't know what the Ultimates are doing. They think they're probably terrorists because, well, it's sales information. We see Hank and Janet, we see also Hawkeye. Also, apparently, people just work for a place known as, actually, Oscorp. Yes. Yeah, Oscorp's in this book, like in Spider-Man, and of course, like, we have American Chavez, and basically just have this various stuff happen. She-Hulk is not Jennifer Walters, she's just some island girl. Also, the Avengers, the Ultimate Base Operations is a satellite, which I find that interesting, because if you think about it, Marvel superheroes generally don't have any, like, unless it's some government agency, superhero teams are generally not based in space. They don't have like a space-based platform like the DC Comics does with Justice League with the satellite, which they're currently doing right now. And you're probably thinking, has there been an actual team in the Six-Picture universe to be based on a space station? The answer is yes. There has been. Only one. Was it any of the X teams? No. Was there was Fantastic Four base? Well, they didn't have a other space station per se, but that was not the primary base. The primary base was the Baxter Building. They had this thing called the Foundation of Space, which was in geosynchronous orbit over the Baxter Building. You're thinking, okay, was it one of the major teams? Yes. The Secret Avengers, it was their second base, because the original base was a basically a mobile Quinn carrier owned by Steve Rogers. And I'm guessing Deniz Camp did this to have, let's have the Ultimates based on a satellite. Of course, yes, currently the current major team is based upon a orbiting thing, there's a city. And that's the base now. But yeah. So, and then we have where I think it's supposed to be Matt Murdock, where and we have this thing like Lemons Randy, something that basically the Ultimate doesn't really mention very much. So, and then issue 8, oh boy, where we have this thing come from space, and it's the Guardians of the Galaxy, which this caused some hysteria online when these group was introduced. Yeah, because it's the group of LGBT community. It's basically, yeah, this version of Guardians was very, from what I can remember seeing online when this issue was released, this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy was very negatively received. Also, this blue woman in front is America Chavez's girlfriend from space. And this white guy with the beard, that's freaking Star-Lord. Wait, that's not Star-Lord. According to this universe is. We have Verge Console Space Dock, and we also have this thing with this weird body. Who the heck is this guy? So the blue woman is Captain Marvel, protector of the universe, Wonder Omni Bands. Yep. Also, Cosmo is a telepath like he is in the universe. Also, he can talk normally, which he can't really do that. So, possibilities of the future. And then we briefly see, I kid you not, we briefly see Captain Universe. We see the regular Guardians from the 31st century, where they died. And they mention, the Lightbringer. Something which I think some people in Marvel Comics hated this concept. Because this was a concept introduced by Al Ewing in Figures of Ultimates, which then got reverted in their book. Where this book reveals that Galactus universe is dead. So, and then we see that with Celestials. We briefly see a version of the Ultimates. The way they look in the Ultimate Universe. Really cool visual here. 10 months remaining, and then we have... Now, issue 9 is all focused on Luke Cage. Whereas, he was... Get this. He was put in prison. And here's the thing. He was charged with something, and he has no idea what he was charged with. And apparently what appears to be his lawyer is not actually his lawyer. He's not a lawyer. He just... it was a administrative trial. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck was Luke Cage charged with? Answer? No idea, because this book never reveals what the heck he was charged with. And we see him over the years, 5, 2006, 2010, 2025. Also being experimented upon. And eventually by 2024, eventually he does break out. And basically we have a nod to Power Man Fist called All Power to the People. Yep. And... oh, by the way, that was a Triskele and South in place. Then we go to issue 10, where, oh boy, then we have a flashback to a version of the Invaders. We see Jim Hammond, he's also part of the team too. We also see, we see like a Red Skull. Is that Punisher? No, it's Red Skull. And, Iron Man barely been calling for the last few issues, and he's not back. And they find the Red Skull in this universe. And apparently he has killed Namor and pinned him to a wall like he's basically basically like he's a taxidermist. And yeah, it's Namor. He's dead. And Cap's like, take him down now. Red Skull in this universe is like, of course they call him Guardian Skull. Not Red Skull. Clearly it's Red Skull, but no, they call him Guardian Skull. Apparently executed him. So, They proceed to fight him, and of course, they'll be bringing this big bulky guy, who apparently is supposed to fit this universe like John Walker, aka U.S. Agent, who's got a red skull on him. They defeat him, and then of course Namor's laid to rest at sea. And then Cap flashback to Bucky, and then issue 11 focus on Thor and Sif, where they're in like in the afterlife, and Loki's getting bored, being chubby. Apparently, he's killed Odin. Oh yeah, and apparently like people are seeing skeletons by Hela. People being educated. It's a weird. It's all about Thor for this issue. Yes, Thor. This issue 11 is all about Thor. With it's like all based on him. Where apparently like, he made an alliance with Surtur, and then of course basically going to issue 12 with Nick Fury again, and where it's like they're trying to invent the flashback from a few issues ago, and they try their damnedest. They do, and of course they get rid of Ultimate 2.0 and replace Ultimate 3.0. And then until the end of the issue, the Wasp is a traitor to the team, where she apparently is Nick Fury's mole in the team. Really interesting book per se. I don't think Dennis Camp is a terrible writer. I think the book is really. I do like what's up with Thor, with Luke Cage. I thought that was really good. There's a lot of good stuff here. It's sad to see this book can be ending really soon. Yes. So I think there's about 1 or 2 more trades to go for this book. Yep. So that is pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, notifications. I'm gonna head out for a bit, and when I come back, I'm gonna watch more anime. Which one? Probably the Banished Court Magician AB is strongest. Okay, thanks, Bye.